Good morning. We're on the record now. This is the time set for an original hearing for Kesley Pope. Is that you, ma'am?
Yes, I'm Kesley Pope.
You know your offender number?
Yeah, my offender number is 254630.
Thank you. My name is Blake Hills. I'm a member of the Board of Pardons and Parole, and I've been assigned to conduct the hearing. I need to swear you in, so please raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you will give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes, I will be truthful and accurate.
Thank you. Go ahead and put your hand down. Ms. Pope, did you receive 7 days written notice of the hearing?
Yes.
Did you receive a blue disclosure packet?
Yeah.
Did you review it?
Yeah, I did.
Are there any questions or concerns about the packet, or was it generally fine?
No, it was generally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go forward today?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let me explain a few things for your benefit and the benefit of those who are here. First, no decision will be announced today in this hearing. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
It's something that will come later, and I'll talk about that more towards the end.
No problem.
The way we will proceed is there is a victim representative here who I've been told wishes to speak. So we will hear from him first.
Okay.
Then you'll have an opportunity to respond to him. And at that point, it will just be a response only to what he has said. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
After that, you and I will talk about the offenses, what you've been doing in prison, and what your release plans are.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You'll have an opportunity at the end to bring up anything you think the board needs to know that we haven't covered.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I'm ready.
Okay. Sir, would you come up to the microphone, please? And will you please raise your right hand?
Am I allowed to turn? No.
No, just, can you see the monitor here?
Yeah.
You'll be able to see and hear him, okay?
Okay.
Sir, do you promise that the testimony you will give will be truthful and accurate?
Yes.
Thank you. Even though I have your name written down here, I need you to state your name for the record.
Christian Dow.
Thank you. Mr. Dow, go ahead and tell me what you would like the board to know.
I would like the board to know, one, how bad my family has been hurt over the last 3 years. We have not recovered from this at all, especially my daughter. The one thing that she feared the most was that her mother would go away and never come home. She lived her nightmare. She is still living her nightmare from that. She lost her brother that she was extremely close to that night. They were inseparable. She wanted to be here, but because of the time frame, she just was not able to make it. But she wanted everyone to know that even with her brother, part of his soul was with her every day of her life. And now that's all she's got left that she has to carry around. From what I've received from the reporter, it doesn't seem like that any accountability has been taken from the Pope family on this issue, because they were blaming my family for that accident, saying it was their fault and not taking any responsibility or accountability for the fact that Ms. Pope here was drunk, driving a vehicle with no insurance, and for me personally, it's appalling on how things were handled. And personally, also, I think only 5 years for both my wife and my son is also appalling. I understand that the judge says that's the minimum, and that's why he gave it to him. But it's not enough, in my opinion. I don't know if it's possible to overturn that ruling at this point. And if it's not, personally, she needs to stay for those 10 years and really think about and really take accountability for what's happened here. My son won't speak, but he's completely devastated here. We are all trying to put the pieces back together the best that we can, and we just can't do it. Even till now, we're just struggling. My daughter has become emancipated, trying to go out on her own. I think part of it is because that's what she really wanted, but I think part of it has to do with the fact of the accident happening and trying to control something in her life because her whole life was upside down. And my son and I were just trying to make it through each day to make this work. And it hurts. I can't think about it because it tears me up. And I can't say for sure, for a fact, but I'm sure my son feels the same way. My daughter wanted to come in here and speak and put her mind out there, but she chose not to. I just think more needs to be done in this case to show where the law and their thoughts and their emotions and their actions play a big part, and it needs to change completely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that very well-spoken, heartfelt statement. Ms. Pope, you're not required to respond, but you may respond if you wish. Do you wish to give a response?
Yeah, I would.
Now, you'll need to, we want Mr. Dow to be able to hear you, so can you move just a bit closer to the microphone so he can hear?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can't say sorry enough. And what I did was so wrong. It was so wrong. And I will deal with that for the rest of my life as well. I cannot even put myself in your guys' family position. As I've tried so many times, it's so impossible. It's so impossible. And my heart hurts for you and your family so much. My selfish decision broke your innocent family. And I wish I could take it back every single day. I pray to Susan and Tobias every day as I pray for you guys today. And I said to myself, I said, I can understand why you don't want to forgive me. And I'm so sorry for some of the things my family has said. And I wish that we could all just, I wish we could all just be in each other's positions to understand how each other's are feeling and how each other is feeling, but we just can't. And I said, no matter what was said from my family, it was so wrong. And it is my fault. And I will never not say that it wasn't my fault. But I also want to just say to your family that no matter what, Christian, the day that you came and saw me here at this prison, regardless of if you forgive me or not, now to this day, I got to hug you. And I've been wanting, from the night that the accident happened, I was wanting to be the one to come tell your family what I did and the mistake that I made. I was getting told I was crazy. No, Kesley, you're not gonna go tell. I said, please let me be the one to go tell them that this was me. And I was reflecting on some of my journals just last night, and I want to apologize because I was thrown off by this news segment that I saw last night. Because I went back and I looked in my journal and I wrote about the best day of my life is when Christian Dow came and saw me here. And I got to feel closer to their family and understand their hurt because I was living in the what ifs and the regrets. And I was living in so much devastation in my head. Every single morning as those lights turned on, I was reminded of what I did every single day. And when he came and saw me that day, he inspired me to be a better person no matter how hard times get. And so I want to say, no matter how you feel, I will respect it and I understand it. And I am so sorry forever and ever. And I validate everything that you're feeling. And I will try to understand for the rest of my life. So thank you for sharing. And that's what I have to share to him.
All right. Ms. Pope, did you read the description of the offenses that was included in the blue packet?
Yeah.
Do you agree that that statement is accurate, or are there things that need to be clarified?
There's a few things that I think that we will get to within the questions. I think that as of right now, and that's nothing too big.
Tell me about your history with alcohol. When did you begin drinking?
So I began drinking. I moved down to Costa Rica when I was 18 years old. And that was when I first started drinking. I was 18 years old at the time, and that was actually the legal limit down in Costa Rica, and that's just when it was open to me.
How about the United States? How often were you drinking and how much were you drinking?
So between the ages of 18 and until I was arrested, 22, how often was I drinking? Not often. Socially, with coworkers or friends, occasions, things like that.
How much do you recall drinking on the day of these offenses?
What I recall from drinking that night was I knew that I had somewhere else to go. And so in my mind, from what I remember, is that I had about 4 drinks that night and then 1 hard liquor shot so about a total of 5 drinks within 5 hours of when I started drinking until the incident.
Let's talk about programming. You were in the Elevate program
Yeah.
about 2 years ago. That was unsuccessful. Can you tell me what happened there?
Yeah. Well, and I'll mention this as well, as I am in the Elevate program right now. They recently moved me in just a couple weeks ago, and I'm happy to be back. But the reason why I got taken out beforehand was there was an incident in the mini yard, and someone got very aggressive, and I was in the wrong place at the wrong moment and trying to help this person, and there was no helping this person that was showing anger. This person in the mini yard was showing anger, and she took it out on me, and it didn't look good on camera. And as much as, this person's my friend, I tried not to take it personally. I tried not to do too much about it and let it kind of slide off. And security saw it, and they ended up taking us out of the program and putting us under investigation of what happened in the incident. They saw that I didn't do anything, but due to the fact that I had something that I was not authorized to have in my property, which was, which I'm so embarrassed about, is butter. I had butter from Culinary, and I wasn't supposed to have it. And they said, you weren't supposed to have this, and so I got a write-up, and you're not supposed to have write-ups in this program. And so I got suspended of 90 days out of that program. And so after that 90 days, they realized you don't see the board for another year and a half. And so they kind of like prolonged it, and then other things happened that we can speak about.
Have you been in the Elevate program long enough to learn anything that will impact your thinking or behavior?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me what it is.
Yeah, Dana and Kim, they're amazing women. And they understood that, I would walk into some of these groups, and these women would be sharing these insane stories of their addiction. And I would sit there, and I'd be not, I don't want to use the word fascinated, but I'd be like very inspired by them. And so, but they could tell that I was kind of to the side being quiet, and so Dana and Kim pulled me aside, and they said, it's okay that, you're going through something very traumatic, and, your substance abuse is new, you're young, and this is all so new to me. I'd never been in a program before. And so I learned how to feel feelings without feeling so much guilt. And they were teaching me how to forgive myself, and they were teaching me how I can live a life without alcohol. And they were teaching me how to deal with anxiety and PTSD. And they were teaching me so many life skills that I will hold on to forever. I was in there for about 6 months, and I was in the pre-Elevate, which I didn't understand what pre-Elevate was, but I know it's just because I had a little bit more time, a little bit longer to do.
Okay. One thing that you mentioned yourself that is concerning is there have been a fairly large number of disciplinary violations. Can you tell me generally what is going on that has led to 3/4 of a page of disciplinary violations?
Yeah, I can. Oh, I've reflected on all my write-ups, every single one of them. And even if the ones that didn't make sense to me in the moment, I'm choosing to learn why following rules is important. And some of these rules are a lot of housing rules. And some of the housing rules I struggled with. Moving to this new prison from Draper to this new prison was a big change. It was a really big change, and sometimes I felt like I was having to learn the rules by breaking the rules, and I didn't like that when it comes to laundry or being out of bounds. And there's a few of them that I'm so disappointed in myself. When I saw that blue packet, I basically asked myself, I said, why can't I seem to get a hold of myself when it comes to following these rules? Like I did a lot of things that made me feel comfortable. And I did break those rules, and I do take accountability for that. And I feel embarrassed over it too. I do. And I feel like I did care sometimes more about maybe like the way that I presented myself than maybe following the rules, and that's where I went wrong.
There's a statement in the IPR, the Institutional Progress Report, that says that you have said that some of the rules are stupid and that it appears that you think they don't apply to you. Is that a statement that you made?
Every single time that I wouldn't say every single time, let me rephrase that. If I were to get a disciplinary, I would go to this thing called OMR. And I would go and I would say, this sounds so stupid. So was I actually saying that the rules are stupid? No. But when I was defending myself and I was saying, oh, this is so stupid, like this is what happened and this is why I did it and my intentions were good and I apologize for what I did. I understand that that's breaking the rules, but hear me out. So would I say that following rules is stupid? No. When I'm on outside of prison, I'm a rule follower. I try to follow the rules as much as I can, as a human being. And I take a lot of pride in that. And here it was just a whole different world. It was a whole different world. And I regret saying the word stupid because they're not stupid. And there's a meaning behind all of them. And I think it more came out of frustration that I kept getting knocked down for something that I didn't mean to look bad or to do something wrong,
If you were to be released, where would you live?
So I'm open to so many things if I were to be released. I've been working with my case manager so much when it comes to this. Case manager, Officer Hooley, he's such a good man. As mad as I was at him for some of the things that he said to me or some of the things that he came to me with the truth, and I was so mad with the truth, and he would sit me down and he would do what was right, and he stands up for what was right. And so with making a plan with him, he made me open to all options, whether it's a residential program out there, another one if that's what you guys find is okay, or I was really open to doing the Cooks program as well. As I've graduated culinary arts, I was open to doing something like that as a transitional move. And also my grandpa.
Okay, how would you support yourself?
Supporting myself, I would get a job, and I'm so excited to get a job, to be able to earn money and to be able to see what I can do to. I've never taken public transport, but I'm open to everything and to being able to now that I'm getting a higher education right now, it's opening doors to so many new things, and I think that's going to help me support myself so much more than I ever could before all this.
Do you feel that you've changed since you've come to prison, or are you the same person that you were?
I am the most changed person that I could have ever been able to see myself as. I've grown, and I'm confident in saying that. I want to say that, since then, I've also found a passion. I've found a new passion, and that's changed me completely as a person, and that passion is just sharing awareness and the risks and the terror and the terrible things about driving under the influence. I mean, my values have grown, and my value of life, changes a person so much. It changes a person so much when you find your values in life, and I just wish that I could just I could go on and on about all of that, of how I've changed. And if you want to hear about it, I'm happy to. I have some notes here that I would love to share as well, if that's okay.
Well, we are at the point where, as I said, if there's anything you think the board needs to know that we haven't covered, it's your opportunity to let us know. So tell me what we haven't covered that you believe the board needs to know.
Okay. When I was going through this board jacket, the board, not the blue one, but where they ask you questions and you fill it out. And there was this question in why I engaged in criminal activity. And I just want to say again that my next destination was more important in that moment. And that was so selfish of me. And it was just so irresponsible. But I want to just say some of the things that I have learned that that really mean a lot to me. And when it comes to my parents, they struggle. They do struggle. And I want to acknowledge that addiction does run in my family, and that I take pride in being a really good example over my siblings. To stay away from that slippery slope of addiction and leading you to a place like this. And don't get me wrong, this place has amazing things, but it also is not a place that you want to be in. But the thing is, the moment that you hurt somebody, this isn't the scary place. The scary place is what's in your head, knowing that you hurt someone. And knowing that you hurt innocent people, and then, but also some more things that I learned is that my family's also trying to learn how to save lives as well. You know, my father does carry around a breathalyzer with him in his car, and he doesn't drink. But he told me this story, and he said, I saw a guy getting into his car they're up at the ski resort. He's about to get in his car, and he said, hey, man, how about you do this? You know? He says, oh, thank you, you know, and he uses my father's breathalyzer, and he says, how about you wait just a little bit? You know, my daughter's sitting in prison right now due to this thing, you know, and my family's out there sharing the story. And I feel that it is changing lives, and more lives will be saved, more than lives that were lost. And also, some of the other things that I've learned is I'm still learning how to redeem something so tragic. And take this and turn this into something inspiring. I'm praying. I've learned how to forgive others and repeatedly forgive myself. I've learned to humble myself and to get my priorities straight. And just to lighten some things up, I mean, I've learned so many cool things from these programs here. You know, I've learned to cook, and I've learned to stay organized, to communicate with all personalities. I've learned to plan and to not judge. I grew my faith, and I've learned to serve others. And I've learned the woman that I want to be. And that's a strong, inspiring woman. I'm growing my education. I'm growing my education so much, and that's something that I would never, ever would have thought that I would have been doing. I've participated in Slick Community College multiple semesters. I graduated culinary arts. I'm in web and graphic design, and I'm so grateful for that. I do UPEP. I do, you know, I've worked as an ADA worker for this lady. She was just so sweet, who just inspires me so much. And she was an alcoholic as well, and her stories just inspire me to stay strong. There's so many things in this prison that has inspired me so much, and that even just down to the small AA groups and the religious services and just everything that I could possibly participate in, I have. And I worked hard for that every single day that I was here, regardless of, you know, even with the times that I was getting in trouble, that I sat there, I said, it's not going to stop me from trying. And for those of you who don't know, my blood mother came here. My blood mother came, and that was something that I would have never expected. And really, I knew she struggled with addiction. And so when she came here due to DUI offenses, I was so ready to just take care of her and show her the way of what this place can offer you, you know, and make a positive effect in this and say anybody could end up here. And I'm so grateful that she didn't hurt anyone as well. But she did the Elevate program, and they said that in my blue jacket, that's one thing that I also wanted to mention, that in that blue jacket, they said that I couldn't get back in, but there was long periods of time actually that I was on an eligibility list to be able to get back in without, you know, I've had one write-up this whole year in the, you know, in 2024. And the reasoning why they couldn't put me back in on top of, you know, that write-up was that my mother was in there. And due to therapeutic reasons, they wouldn't let me into the program to finish this program until my mother left. And so she just has left in this past July. She actually got out and she's doing really well.
All right, thanks for telling me that. We need to wrap things up here shortly.
Okay.
Is there any last thing that the board needs to know before making its decision?
I just ask that you listen to the DAOs as well as you listen to our hearts, and just know that I'm so sorry for hurting our community as well on top of my victims. And I will do everything I can to redeem it, no matter what. But until then, that's all I have to say. Or I'll just keep going on and on.
As I stated at the beginning, no decision is reached today. 3 members of the board must agree on what happens next, whether it's a rehearing, whether it's parole, or whether it's something else. That decision can take several weeks or even up to a month or 2.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions today, and thank you, Mr. Dow, for appearing and giving that well thought out, heartfelt statement. I appreciate that. And we will conclude this hearing at this time. Thank you.